Hello everyone. Today we're going to be working on the restoration of this French naval sword. It is dated here on the spine 1839. While there's not too much active rust on the blade, there was quite a bit on the hilt and guard here. I've wiped it down with mineral oil just to stop it in the meantime until I could get to it, and now is the time. So let's get to it. Alright, so before I start doing anything on this, I wanted you guys to see what condition it was in. You can see some of the red rust in there, which is active rust. The blade has some rust spots on there, but it doesn't look like any of it's active. There's the engraving. Alright, so I got it chucked up in the vise there, and I want to start by giving it a quick scrub with this little pad. This is not a scour pad. This is extremely less abrasive than what a scour pad would be. I just want to throw that out there and make sure that, because I've seen some terrible restorations on YouTube where they just destroyed the sword. That is not what I'm trying to do. So, a little spray, a little scrubby scrub. Just get any wax or anything, any loose bits off of there. As you can see, it's not even really doing too much on there. My goal is not to remove the rust with this, it's just get rid of any wax or anything that might be on there. Alright, so we got the handle scrubbed down, handle and guard scrubbed down. Doesn't look too much different, but it does look better. There's no active looking rust too badly on it. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing, but to the blade. Get any wax or grease or, I don't know, there's some weird stuff on here. As you can see, it's not really any abrasive action. It's just slightly scrubby. And the reason I don't need the abrasive action is because later on we will be using chelation to remove a large quantity of the rust. Alrighty, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna give it a quick scrub down with some rubbing alcohol to get rid of the WD-40 on there, and then we'll proceed to chelation. Alright, for our chelating agent, I'm gonna use distilled water, 100 milliliters of distilled water. And then the main thing is the EDTA. I'm using disodium EDTA, but they also have tetrasodium EDTA, which is 4 sodium atoms instead of the 2 disodium. And what I've Googled, disodium has a lower pH of around 4 to 5, where tetrasodium EDTA has a pH of around 10. So we'll open that up, and then we're seeing people use 3 grams to 5 grams of EDTA. They say that in 100 milliliters of water, up to 10 grams will go into solution. So I'm just going to use 4 grams of EDTA. Measure that out over here. Well, that comes in at 4.19. Good enough. Toss that in there. And then grab the bit that's on the scale. And then that is just a liquid, and if we put it on there like that, it's just going to start running everywhere. So we're going to use agar to gel it up so it doesn't run anywhere, and it will stay on the blade where you put it, so that the exposure time to the metal is greatest. And then for that, just 5 grams, I believe. We'll keep it even with the EDTA and do 4 grams.
What is it?
Come on.
What is it?
What? It's a video.
Oh.
And you're talking in it. But it's okay.
Hi, everybody.
I'll just mute it and fast forward it.
Really?
Yeah.
Could you just keep the high?
Sure.
I like the bar.
And there we are. So then I'll take this inside, microwave it until it gets almost to boiling, and then let the agar set up a little bit, and then boil it again, or Alright, so we have it microwaved. Just gonna top it off here. It's back to the 100 milliliters. Give it a good stir. Let it set up. Then we'll microwave it again once more. So we have our mixture of EDTA and agar is mostly set up. I'm gonna go microwave it one more time, and then we'll get to the application. So I waited a little bit longer on the solution of agar and EDTA. It wasn't fully set up. It's looking pretty good now. So I'm gonna go nuke this in the microwave, get it liquid again, and then we can start our application. So now we got our solution heated back up to a liquidy consistency. I got a little foam brush here, and we will start our application. You should cover all surfaces evenly. All right, so I add a little bit more water, and that's a much better consistency. I'm going to wipe this off and do it again, just to make sure that it has a more even application and consistency along the blade. Alright, let's try this once more. It is still setting up rather quick, but I think we can live with that. And now we just let it sit for, honestly, an hour. So, very interesting stuff. It has solidified onto the blade, but it has red color on it. So I'm going to wipe it off and reapply, see what happens. Does look like a good bit of the rust has gone away. Got our hot solution here. And this has been about 45 minutes, I'd say. Maybe an hour that it's been setting. And then this one, I don't know, we'll throw some more on there and see what happens, I guess. Once again, wipe it off and reapply. And once again, we get that ooey gooey red stuff. It is looking much cleaner though. So especially the rest at the tip is not even near as much as it was. Alrighty. So I've been doing about 20-minute spurts. This stuff likes to dry out pretty quick. And once it dries out, I mean, I don't think it's doing much. So let's wipe it off and have another round. I will note I had to increase the amount of water in the solution to 200 milliliters so that the agar didn't just gel up entirely right when I put it on the blade. So I increased it to 200 milliliters, and that's still with what, 4 grams of agar. And then because I increased the amount of water, I also increased the amount of EDTA, another 4 grams. So we're at 8 grams and 8 grams of EDTA and 200 milliliters of water with 4 grams of agar. Sorry, I had to remember what I had done. So give that a good wipe off. And it is changing the rust noticeably, which is good. There's that same rust colored nasty goop coming off. And it's like pretty good so far. I think when I do the guard though, I'll submerge the entire piece in a solution with no agar, just to try and make it easier on myself. But yeah, there's that side. Get rid of that side. Hard to see, but it is doing something. The top side is much easier to see that stuff is happening. Give that a good old wipe off. Same poopy red. And that's looking pretty good. So to this mixture, I added just a touch of baking soda because it looks like it was semi-etching it a little bit, which is not what I want. And it started foaming very, very widely. The baking soda is like 10 on the pH scale. And the solution was disodium EDTA was 4 or 5-ish, somewhere in there. So I wanted it just a touch lower. I don't know if I have messed up how the EDTA will work or not, but we will see. Worst comes to worst, I just have to make another batch of EDTA, I suppose. The Tonto is looking phenomenal on how much rust it has removed, which isn't too big of a deal because I plan on polishing that anyways. I have some Hazuya and Jizuya stones that I bought from Japan, and I will be using those on the Tonto. But you can see that Hamon line popping through pretty good. So here we are now. Looks like it's doing pretty good. The Tonto is doing pretty well. It's got a good bit of that stuff gone. Got some very deep pitting right there. This side's not so bad. But the naval sword, I don't know. Feels like it could be better. Alrighty, so here we are after I don't even know how many rounds. But it is looking pretty good. That major rust spot right here is mostly disappeared on both sides. So I'm going to give it a couple more rounds and see what happens. So after the last process, it's looking pretty good. Most of the rust discoloration is gone on the blade. Spine's looking pretty good, and you can see the signature much better. I wiped it down with a little bit of Mother's Mag polish just to get rid of some of the discoloration in the steel. And now just going to use a tiny bit of 3000 diamond paste to get rid of the rest of the discoloration. While it's abrasive, using 3000, so it is significantly less so abrasive. I'm going to do this side too. Some heavy pitting in there. Alrighty, here we go. Got the color of the steel back looking good. There is still some rust spots and pitting, but the goal of this was just to get the natural color back. And it went pretty well. Interesting part here, there was a anchor that was stamped, but somebody went through and ground it off for whatever reason, I don't know. You can see the top of it there, and then a little swoop of the anchor right there. Now I'm just gonna oil it up and she's good to go. Alrighty, now we're ready for some oil. We got ram oil. Do the blade and then work on the guard. Shut. All good. You see some parts right there where it's been brazed, butt cap together, and then right here, brazed as well, and then pinned on the inside there.
You're fixing up the sword?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's on.
It is.
It's not showing anything on the back. Oh, it is.